8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The Prime Minister directs the officials to provide loan facilities to small and medium-scale rice manufacturers. Free quarantine for all expatriate workers. The number of COVID-19 recoveries surpasses 40,000. Distribution of COVID-19 vaccines in Sri Lanka to begin by mid-February. Mediation board activities to resume. Sri Lanka medical insurance for family members of Buddhist monks. Former directors of ETI Finance Limited re-arrested. In news overseas, global coronavirus infections top 88 million. And in sports news, Shahan Jayasuriya announces his retirement. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the local news. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has directed officials to provide loan facilities to small and medium-scale rice manufacturers. The Premier made this statement during a discussion held with the representatives of the All Ceylon Small and Medium-Scale Rice Manufacturers Association. The Prime Minister advised the officials to resolve the concerns faced by small and medium-scale rice farmers before addressing the issues faced by large-scale manufacturers. The discussion was held on the basis of several demands, including obtaining fixed control price for rice, which will be updated for 6 months from 1st February, according to Sri Lanka's guaranteed paddy price. Attention was drawn to providing facilities for small and medium-scale rice mill owners to repay loans at concessionary rates as well. The number of coronavirus cases in Sri Lanka has exceeded 47,000. 251 new COVID-19 cases were identified today, increasing the country's infections to 40,031. All 251 patients were linked to the Minuwangoda Paliyagoda coronavirus cluster. The number of COVID-19 recoveries recorded in Sri Lanka, meanwhile, surpassed 40,000 as of today. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health said 656 persons who recovered were discharged during the past 24 hours, increasing the total recoveries to 40,317. 6,492 persons, including 4 foreign nationals, are currently receiving treatment for coronavirus at 67 facilities across the country. State Minister Sudarshani Fernandopulle today informed the Parliament that the distribution of COVID-19 vaccinations in Sri Lanka will begin by mid-February 2021. The State Minister said steps have been taken to purchase COVID-19 vaccines in addition to the vaccines that will be provided by the World Health Organization. State Minister Fernandopulle said that President is dedicated to ensuring sufficient COVID-19 vaccines are obtained and also taken measures to ensure the allocation of necessary provisions. She added that the President also appointed a committee to study the best suitable vaccine for Lankan citizens. The State Minister claimed that while 20% of the population will be covered through the vaccines provided by the WHO COVAX program, the remaining vaccines will be obtained following discussions. The Ministry of Justice says that arrangements have been made to resume the island-wide mediation board activities, which were suspended due to the second wave of COVID-19 from tomorrow. With the second outbreak of COVID-19 virus, mediation board hearings were suspended last September. However, the situation is now receding. The Mediation Board Commission has taken steps to commence mediation board activities in areas other than the risk zones while adhering to health guidelines. Mediation Board Commission has instructed the mediation officers and the mediation board members island-wide on how to investigate complaints and conduct the mediation board proceedings in accordance with the health guidelines. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Save your card with a balance transfer facility from People's Bank. More details at peoplesbank.lk.
And we continue with more local news. The state-run Sri Lanka Insurance has started a medical insurance scheme for family members of Buddhist monks, which will provide hospitalization and diagnostic testing cover. Style Nagaraja Shakyaputra Nyati Medical Insurance will provide medical cover to the immediate family of a Buddhist monk. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa handed over the first policies to a group of monks at the official residence of Temple Trees. There were plans to extend the scheme to other religions as well. The budget had also allocated funds to provide a house for parents who give children to become Buddhist monks under the Mihindu Nivasa scheme. The police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohan stated that the Criminal Investigation Department has re-arrested Jeevaka Edirisinghe, Anjali Edirisinghe and Asanka Edirisinghe, the former directors of ETI Finance Limited, a short while ago on charges of criminal misappropriation, cheating, money laundering and other offences. They were arrested on the directive of the Attorney General to the CID on the charges as mentioned. The same suspects were arrested by the CID on Tuesday and were granted bail on the following day. The Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Pires, says tuition classes that were temporarily suspended following the second wave of COVID-19 in the country will resume on the 25th of January. Speaking in Parliament today, the Minister made this revelation in response to a question raised by the Leader of the Opposition, Sajith Premadasa. The Minister further said the situation in the country is complex as a result of coronavirus, adding that decisions cannot be reached lightly. The Minister noted that the government has taken a systematic approach pertaining to the country returning to normalcy, claiming that decisions are made step by step. It was revealed before the Wattala Magistrates Court today that all 11 inmates of the Mahara prison's unrest died as a result of gunshot injuries. The revelation was made in court by the 5-member expert committee appointed to investigate the unrest at the prison premises. Only 8 inmates were previously confirmed to have died of gunshot injuries. The Director General of Health Services called for the cremation of the 8 inmates as they were identified as they tested positive for COVID-19. The 5-member committee today confirmed that the 3 remaining inmates also died of gunshot injuries. Wattala Magistrates Buddhika Sri Ragala informed the Director General of Health Services to allow the burial of the 3 inmates as they had not contacted the coronavirus. Court informed the Director General to lay to rest the inmates in a suitable location with the consent of their family members at state expense. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The Prime Minister directs officials to provide loan facilities to small and medium-scale rice manufacturers. Free quarantine for all expatriate workers. The number of COVID-19 recoveries surpasses 40,000. Distribution of COVID-19 vaccinations in Sri Lanka to begin by mid-February. Mediation board activities to resume. Sri Lanka medical insurance for family members of Buddhist monks. Former directors of ETI Finance Limited re-arrested. And that was the local news.
Save your card with the balance transfer facility from People's Bank. Transfer the balance of another credit card to a People's Bank credit card with the lowest interest rate. More details at www.peoplesbank.lk.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The main news story for tonight, while refuting to reports that Sri Lankan expatriate workers have to undergo compulsory paid quarantine in hotels, Minister Norman Rajapaksa said yesterday that all Sri Lankan expatriate workers would be provided with free quarantine facilities at the government quarantine centres hereafter. He told Parliament that the Health Ministry, Foreign Ministry and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 were making arrangements in this regard on the advice of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The minister said steps have been taken to increase the number of flights to bring back the expatriates from next week following a discussion with the President. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And it was Watchlight tonight, the Department of Examinations says students sitting for the practical examinations of the 2020 Advanced Level Examination can use the admission card on the National Identity Card as a permit to pass through the isolated areas. The Examinations Commissioner General Sanath Pujitha said the applicants must be present at the location cited in the admission card for the practical examinations. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news. Global coronavirus infections top 88 million. U.S. President-elect finalizing White House lineup. Climate change 2020 in a deadlock heat for world's warmest year. Those are the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. The global tally for confirmed coronavirus cases has topped 88 million. The data compiled by the Johns Hopkins University show global infections reached 88,042,762 as of today. It puts the number of deaths at 1,898,530. The United States has the highest number of infections at 21,574,043, followed by India with 10,413,417, Brazil with 7,961,673, Russia with 3,297,833 and Britain at 2,988,052. The United States also has the largest number of deaths at 365,208. Brazil is next with 200,498 deaths, followed by India with 150,570, Mexico as 131,031, and Britain at 78,632. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden is finalizing his cabinet lineup ahead of the inauguration on 20th of January. Biden announced additional members of his economic team yesterday. He nominated Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo as Commerce Secretary. Biden also chose Boston Mayor Marty Walsh to lead the Labor Department. Cabinet nominees must be confirmed by the Senate. Biden got a boost from the recent Georgia runoff elections, which effectively gave the Democrats control of the chamber. New data from EU satellites show that the year 2020 is in a statistical dead heat with 2016 as the world's warmest year. The Copernicus Climate Change Services said that last year was around 1.25 degrees Celsius above the long-term average. The scientists say that unprecedented level of heat in the Arctic and the Siberia were the key factors driving up the overall temperature. The past 12 months also saw a record of Europe for around 0.4 degrees Celsius warmer than 2019. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. Global coronavirus infections top 88 million. U.S. President-elect finalizing White House lineup. Climate change 2020 in a dead heat for world's warmest year. And that was world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In development news, the Aviation and Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga told Parliament that a fresh agreement will be signed with India to develop the Palali Airport in Jaffna soon. Minister Ranatunga said the agreement signed earlier by the previous government had faced certain issues which was not included in the agreement. The minister added that Palali and Ratmalana will be converted into attractive airports in the country. Minister Ranatunga further said that he has had discussions with the Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka in accordance with the government's plan to introduce domestic air services. With that, we move on to sports news. Sri Lanka Cricket said in a statement that national player Shehan Jayasuriya, who represented Sri Lanka in both ODIs and T20 formats, has informed Sri Lanka Cricket that he will no longer be available for the selection of domestic or international cricket tournaments with immediate effect. Jayasuriya has taken this decision as he has decided to relocate to the United States of America with his family to settle in that country. Whilst announcing his decision, Shehan thanked Sri Lanka cricket for the opportunities provided to him during his time as a national player. That was the sports news. Business news coming up, and Sri Lanka's most micro, small and medium enterprises friendly bank, HNB PLC, announced the launch of a 20 million rupees grant fund to support 200 microfinance customers affected by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic across the country. The fund, established by the bank through the HNB Sustainability Foundation, will offer microfinance customers up to 100,000 rupees to upscale their businesses and work towards achieving SME status. HNB will grant funds in 2 phases to chosen microfinance customers with a view to revive and continue businesses impacted by the pandemic. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. It will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And in economic news, continuing the first week of 2021 on a positive sentiment, Colombo's all-share price index gained 0.31% or 21.69 points to close at 7,119.53. The SL&P SL20 index of more liquid stocks gained 0.57% or 15.28 points to close at 2,707.84. The market turnover was 6.1 billion rupees, with 63 stocks gaining and 121 failing. That was economic news, and the weather report to conclude.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry. Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally, the weather report. Showery weather over the island is expected to enhance to some extent due to the low-level atmospheric disturbance to the southeast of Sri Lanka during the next few days from tomorrow night. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the northern, eastern, north-central, central and over provinces. Heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the northern, eastern, central and over provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere in the evening. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places. And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. The Prime Minister directs the officials to provide loan facilities to small and medium-scale rice manufacturers. Free quarantine for all expatriate workers. The number of COVID-19 recoveries surpasses 40,000. Distribution of COVID-19 vaccinations in Sri Lanka to begin by mid-February. Mediation board activities to resume. Sri Lanka medical insurance for family members of Buddhist monks. Former directors of ETI Finance Limited re-arrested. In news overseas, global coronavirus infections top 88 million. And in sports news, Shehan Jayasuriya announces his retirement. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. And of course, it's going back to this wonderful duo of Friday night on the other side of the glass funnel, Indrani Senanayake and Victor Raj. Over to you.